Hi everyone, today is the final blog on Philip Yancey's book on prayer. Philip focuses on resuming the conversation, thinking about what happens when we experience difficult times and when we feel far away from God. He turns to the example of Jesus, who saw, like no one else, the anguish and injustice, the terror of this planet, events that should have shaken his very soul. Yet Jesus left global concerns in the care of his Father, and he focused on day-to-day relationships with tax collectors, fishermen, widows, those who needed medical help, and outcasts. Jesus made time for people and made a difference in their lives. We too hear much about global warming and terror activities across the world, tragedy within our own communities and in each other's lives. Jesus encourages us to play our part in the small ways in which we can help. Worrying about the bigger picture often doesn't help our mental health. Let's read the words from the book of Revelation to St. John, chapter 21. I saw a new heaven and a new earth, St. John says. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God. I heard the one who was seated on the throne say, See, I'm making all things new. On the night before Jesus' crucifixion, he has fed his disciples. He's washed their feet. Judas has stepped out into the night of betrayal. Jesus tells his disciples that he is leaving and that they cannot go with him. Peter and Thomas will ask what everyone is thinking. Why can't we go with you? Where are you going? How will we cope without you? No doubt they felt that their lives were crumbling before them. Their world was changing. The disciples will have to learn to see and trust that even in the midst of terror, chaos, pain and death, and sorrow, all things will be made new. And we need to see that as well. We too must learn that God's making new happens in the midst of and not apart from the circumstances of our lives. That's the disciples' work, and it's our work too in our generation. It's some of the most difficult work that we will ever do. It's the work of love. Jesus said, I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. This is Jesus' departing words or instructions to his disciples. I don't think it's something to be accomplished. I think it's more a way of living, of being. It helps us to ensure that the presence of Jesus is among the disciples and among us today, as we continue his work to make all things new. The space that Jesus once physically occupied amongst his disciples is to be filled with their love for one another. It's about people, life, and circumstances. It's God at work in humanity. It looks like people running towards an explosion to help the injured. It's those eyes scouring the rubble for movement. It's ears listening out for that whimper or cry in the night. It's bare hands digging for life. It's a bedside vigil when all you can do is hold someone's hand. These and 1,000 other acts like them are all acts of love. And they have been done for us. And by God's grace, we will do it for others. When we see these things happening, we experience a new heaven and a new earth. Or as in the book of Revelation, a new Jerusalem. So when the conversation has stalled, let's follow the example of Jesus and love one another. Go well and have a good day.